Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. We're going to be discussing how you can kind of protect yourself from inflation by buying cheese. Now, why would you buy cheese? Well, because you like cheese, and I like cheese, and everybody else in America likes cheese. If you're from overseas and you don't like cheese so much, that's okay. That's okay. But you might still want some cheese as well. So we're going to look at like kind of cost effectiveness of how to stock up on cheese. Now, if you go to the store, you can just get one of those blocks of cheese. This is 8 ounces from Aldi. You're running just under $2 for 8 ounces of cheese. This is cheese. You can get this in shredded form. You can, but there's a serious downfall with this, and that is it needs to be refrigerated. If you don't refrigerate it, if it gets hot, it starts melting, gets all icky. I've thrown these in my backpack before on summer's days, and this gets a little... The texture changes. Let's just put it that way. The texture changes and oil comes out of it, and it's just kind of weird. So can you just throw this on your shelf for stockpiling? Not really. You can put these in your fridge, and you can kind of rotate them over months, which I have a stockpile of this in my fridge that I do rotate. So if the power were to go out, I'd still have cheese. If there were issues at the stores, I'd still have cheese as long as I have power. But I know that I have to eat through that relatively quickly. If you're just going to go out there online, you're like, where can I get cheese that's going to store for a long time? You're probably going to run across this stuff, Vega Cheese. It's from Australia. It's supposedly pretty quality cheese, which, if you read the label, it's actually cheese food. But ingredient 1 is cheese. So that's a big step up. I'm going to be going over some other options here. Some of them are not going to say cheese. So like silly cheese and stuff like that. They're actually going to say whey as one of the main products. So these things are $7 a can. But for you guys, I'm popping it open. I just bought this just for the purpose of this video because it's not what I usually stock. And I'll give it a little taste test. It tastes like a cheese off the shelf at the store. Not quite Velveeta, but without an aftertaste. It tastes like a bland American cheese. Now, actually, it tastes like that white American cheese. Yeah, like white American cheese. Okay, so Vega Cheese, you can get these. There'll be links to all the stuff down below. Some of them are affiliate links, some of them aren't. But Vega Cheese, you can get these for about $7 a can if you get 6 of them. It's like $10+ you buy 1 can. And then on top of that, you can get it all the way down to like $5 a can if you're willing to buy 36 of them at once on Amazon. So this is a good way to stock up on cheese because it's the texture is pretty firm. I mean, like I'm squeezing it and it mushes a bit, but it's not just like liquid, right? So Vega Cheese is definitely a way to go, and that's if money's not quite as much of an issue for you, that's definitely a way to go. Or if you want to just get a couple of these for treats, treat days. However, if you want to be a little more cost effective in stocking up on cheese, I got Cheese Wow from Walmart, okay? These cans of cheese, this can of Vega Cheese is, I believe, 7 ounces. About 7 ounces of cheese. These are 8 ounces of whey, and second ingredient is cheddar. So, pop one of these open. I can pop these open. One of these, the lid came off. There it is. So, tastes like what you'd expect for a canned cheese, but as you can see there, it's liquid almost. It's like what you put on crackers. It's like a sharp kind of taste to it, tartness to it. But will it taste like cheese? Yes. And the nice thing is it's shelf stable. You can just put these on your shelves and they're going to last a really, really long time. Put way too much on my hand. I say when you're shooting a live video, never, ever eat stuff. All right, so Cheese Wow, these run about $2.57 at Walmart, at least my Walmart did. So that's an option for you. It's a much more cost-effective option than Vega Cheese. 7 ounces, 8 ounces, and it comes compressed in there. So that's, once you pop open this can, it's open. This can, you can use a little bit, use a little bit, use a little bit. That's a nice perk there too. All right, Nutritional Yeast. I repackaged this, so that's why it's in a weird container. I ignore the labels. But Nutritional Yeast, of course, is yeast. It's not cheese. But a lot of these other things aren't quite so much cheese either. It has a nutty flavor. This is kind of what vegans use to kind of get around not having cheese. So it's got a herbal kind of flavor to it. So, but if you add this to like soups, if you add this to other things, it can kind of have a cheesy kind of flavor to it. So that's something you can do naturally. This stuff is very shelf-stable. So it's all dead inactivated yeast. So if you're looking for this, it can be a little more pricey, but because it's concentrated and a lot of it, that'll go a long ways. That's a good way to go. If you want to kind of step up a little bit and be a little more cheese, this is one of my favorite ways to stockpile cheese, Parmesan cheese. So this is a 16-ounce thing of powdered cheese. There's no liquid in here at all. You're looking at $5. So 8 ounces of wet cheese or 16 ounces of dry cheese. You can sprinkle this on top of pasta, of course. You probably have spaghetti stockpiled. You might want to have a bunch of cheese. You can add this to all sorts of dishes to give it more of a cheese flavor. You can just, you know, pour some out on a plate and lick it up with your finger and get that kind of cheese treat that you were looking for. If you're just trying to break up the flavor profiles of what you're eating. But Parmesan cheese is one of my favorite ways to go. It already is semi-good packaging as it is. You could repackage it a little bit better. If you drop these in mason jars, that would probably be better. A step up from that, but more expensive, is like something like Augustine Farms cheese blend. I thought that this would be basically like those cheese packets you get in the macaroni and cheese. It does not taste like that. You can kind of do that, but this it has much more of a whey taste to it. So I'm not super happy with this stuff. Augustine Farms, this is $24 for 3 pounds, 4 ounces, but this is dry powder. So this one is open. So as you can see here, it's a dry powder. It doesn't taste quite like the packs of mac and cheese. It doesn't taste quite as cheesy, and it, like I said, it has more of a whey taste to it. I was not super happy with it myself, but if you want to get a lot of cheese on your shelf, that's definitely a way to do it. Now finally, here's my other favorite, one of my favorite ways of going. I've been stockpiling a lot of these. So is that 6 pounds, 10 ounces of cheddar cheese sauce? Yes, it is. It's a number 10 can of cheese. I get these from Sam's Club. They're like just under $10 for a can, but 3 pounds, 10 ounces for under $10 compared to, now these, number 1 ingredient, water. Number 2 ingredient, cheddar cheese. This makes great mac and cheese. So if you ever just like making like a whole bunch of mac and cheese for people, you just put all the macaroni, cook up the macaroni, put it into a big a tray or something like that, and then you can just pour one of these things over the whole thing, mix it all up, and then pop it in the oven, and you get kind of like what you get at a cafeteria for like mac and cheese. That's kind of what they do with these things. And so this is great. It also comes in nacho variation, but you know, 3 pounds, 10 ounces for under 10 bucks of cheese. Now, of course, once you crack this thing open, you're going to be having cheese for the next couple of days. So if you have a bunch of people over, you can, you know, have a whole bunch of cheese, or you can make up a big thing of mac and cheese. But, you know, just be aware that storing it in these giant containers is a downside, in that once you crack it open, it's going to be open. Look for the ones with the plastic lids, so you can kind of reseal it. If you have some sort of refrigeration you can kind of put out there, or if you open it up in the wintertime when your spirits are down and you want to have some cheese for everybody, and then you can, you know, refrigerate this outside, right? That could be a thing to do, but these things last a very, very long time because they're canned, of course. So my favorite ways of going right now is I'm going to stock up a bunch more on these, because these things just are super handy, and it's not really that expensive. $2.57 for 8 ounces versus just under $2 for 8 ounces. This cheese is better than this cheese, but this cheese is shelf stable, so that's kind of a big perk there. I have been buying up a bunch of these, and so I don't like getting into numbers, but I have a number of these, a fair number of these. Every time I go to Sam's Club, I pick up 1 or 2 of them. From pictures, you may see that I go there relatively frequently. I also have a bunch of these. Spaghetti needs Parmesan cheese. That's just culture, right? Spaghetti needs Parmesan cheese, but Parmesan cheese is great for a lot of other things, and it being in powdered form means it's shelf stable, which is a big perk for me. I really like also that it has a nice strong flavor, strong cheese flavor. Just put a little bit on and it has a strong cheese flavor, so that's a big win for me. As I said, I'm disappointed in these. I probably won't ever buy any more of these. Why would I buy one of these when I could get 2.5 of the big cans of nacho cheese? That's not going to happen, or 10 of these. 10 of these. So that, I will say that this has me intrigued enough that I might pick up a 36 pack of these. Maybe. I have to make a decision on that. That is a big chunk of change to drop on cheese, but I just don't have cheese in my stockpile. I mean, I have these other ones, they're kind of liquid cheese, but I don't have solid cheese in my stockpile. And this would be really nice to have. So I'm well beyond the, do I need to have X, Y, and Z, to, it'd be nice to have X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that's kind of where I am. You may be in a place where you're still trying to get up to 1 to 2 years of food stockpiled, and you're focusing in on the essentials, and that's good. That's where you need to be. If you're like, I want to get some dairy, I want to get some cheese in the mix, then probably the Parmesan or the canned cheese might be the best way to go. Or if you do want to pick up some of these big cans. You can find these big cans as well at Walmart sometimes. Not those exact kind, but you can find nacho cheese types. But watch the price there, though. Make sure you're getting a good price on it. All right, folks, if you have some options for cheese or your favorites of stockpiling cheese, perhaps you are waxing these cheese. Now be aware that if you wax a hard cheese, this is probably a little mushy for waxing. If you wax the cheese, it will get harder and sharper as it sits there. Plus you have to wax it yourself. I haven't been able to find waxed cheeses that are affordably priced. I'd like to find budget wax cheeses that you can just put on the shelf. That would be cool. But you know, perhaps you guys know of sources that you can get that. But if you found this video to be useful, helpful, you might want to check out this other video right here from me. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you later. Steve Poplar out.